Welcome to the Fightcast, the podcast from the Fight Buddies. We're a bunch of friends who are passionate about fighting games and all that lies in between.
Hello, thanks for coming back to another episode of the Fight Buddies. I've been Sin. I've got a YouTube channel on YouTube at Sing Game, and as always, I'm joined by my co-anchor, Mr. Hayabusa. How are you, mate?
I'm very well, thank you, mate. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. I know it's been a while since we've done one of these, but there's some pressing news, I believe, which is very prevalent that if we were to revisit doing this podcast again, I think the timing is right.
No, I think we'll be pretty much hitting the nail on the head with it, I think, yeah.
Yeah, and, well, as people could probably tell by the actual thumbnail, it's a very, how can I say it? It's a very divisive subject at the moment within the actual fighting game community, which of course is season 2 of Tekken 8. Now I know we've covered Tekken before that was our inaugural podcast, but seeing the reaction, which we're going to get into in a minute, seeing the kind of reaction online at the moment is annoying and also amusing me at the same time. So I thought we'd kind of just revisit this together, because I think it's a little bit over the top.
It's got a little bit out of hand, and don't want to be too horrible, but a little bit childish.
Yeah, I mean, we had a discussion before we hit record here that I think approaching this subject with the same amount of basically petulant vitriol is not going to get our points across. So I'm going. I mean, I'm more like the fly off the handle than you are, but I promised you that I'm going to stay calm with this. But it's, but I'm kind of the other side of the coin.
We're going to be. We've got to be as objective as we can.
And that's the aim that we're trying to do here. This is probably not going to go on as long as we normally do, but we've got a couple of points which we want to get across.
Absolutely.
And that is basically, for me, the kind of negative reaction, should I say, towards the actual whatever changes they've made in Tekken 8 Season 2, I think is a bit silly. I mean, for case in argument, I hit you up tonight, didn't I? And I said, if you go onto YouTube, if you go into a search on YouTube and you type in Tekken 8 Season 2, that is a neutral statement. That is nothing positive, nothing negative. That is just looking up the content that is trending on Tekken 8 Season 2. And what do we see?
And most of it is just a doomed list of negativity and just outright whining.
Yeah, I mean, I've just literally typed it in just now into YouTube now, and it's first thing, how Tekken fans reacted to Season 2 with a silly thumbnail of a big cancel and someone crying, and why everyone hates Tekken 8 Season 2. This is not Tekken. I'm scrolling down a little bit more. Most broken string in Tekken 8 Season 2, which we're going to come onto the Jack string later on, that everyone is really, really upset. Tekken Season 8 2 bugs. Tekken is effed up. Tekken 2 foolishness. And then there's a whole list of things they need to do to fix it. And then the most common one, which I posted on the threads and got quite a negative reaction for, was on Steam. There's a lot of, they've absolutely bombarded the reviews of it to overwhelmingly negative in some kind of childlike protest. Now, for me, I mean, Steam, right, I'll come on to this in a minute, but I said Steam players, obviously the PC players, are kind of the worst people I've come across on playing online anyway. So the fact that they're really upset, there's probably a bit of schadenfreude on my part that I'm kind of amused by it.
Yeah, so there's a wee bit of karma's came into it there.
Yeah, but the thing which I watched last night, I fell into the YouTube rabbit hole myself last night because I wanted to see what these people are so damn upset about. And the funny thing is, though, I mean, if you look on threads, you look on Twitter, even Instagram, people are so damn upset, but they're not saying why they're upset. All they're saying is it's broken without actually drilling down into it. I mean, that's our forte. You and I, I hear, to drill down into fighting games. So this was almost too enticing.
Yeah, they've all they've done is just looked at it on the surface and not decided to look at it in the deeper aspects.
Yeah, but what when I was looking at the videos last night, I very, very nearly sent you an absolute litany of videos of saying, look at the state of these people here, and this is there's a common theme that's running through the people who are most upset, and that is, and it's a term I absolutely hate, which is creating this kind of silo of Tekken players between what they're calling casual players and OG players.
Exactly.
Now, I think that's unnecessary. Now, I don't think that you have to list what Tekkens you've played prior to making your point. I don't think that's relevant. I think it is a game at the end of the day, and frankly, it doesn't matter if Tekken 7 was your first game or Tekken 2 was your first game. You can have an opinion. And I don't think that basically rattling off like a damn CV for a job interview of all the Tekkens you've played, because, I mean, I could do that. I'm not going to do that because I don't think it's relevant. You know?
No, it isn't. It is, like you say, it doesn't matter if you've played Tekken 1, Tag 2, blah, 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 whatever. If you've played it, you can have an opinion on it.
Precisely. It doesn't make your opinion more valid than someone else who's less experienced.
Yeah.
And this is kind of what.
Sorry to interrupt there.
Please,
I mean, because look at the new generation of young gamers. Their first Tekken is probably going to be this one. It's going to be Tekken 8. And their opinion is no less valid than you or me when we were playing back in 1994.
Yeah, I mean, anyone who's been on like my personal YouTube channel knows I proper herald, I proper champion Tekken 3. Tekken 3 is probably still my favourite. I still consider it a masterpiece. But I don't feel the need that every conversation on social media that I engage in about Tekken, I have to remind people that I like Tekken 3 and I started on Tekken 3 and Tekken 3 is the reason I have a PS. I think that's irrelevant. You know, if I mean that much, if I'm that upset, just go back and play Tekken 3. My PlayStation still works.
Exactly, yeah. Back in the Twitch days, I did. I still play Tekken 3 and 5 now because I enjoy them. But that's not the point we're trying to make here. The point I'm trying to make here is I don't like the way that not only do they go on about proving that they were there back in the day. I hate that phrase, back in the day. I mean, it's a bit strange being a retro gamer myself and condemning it. But to then, and this is where we get to the crux of it, it's not the fact that they played it back in the day. It's the fact that, and again, it's irrelevant to drop this in, that they've won tournaments, that they've almost like known. And I mean, I saw a couple of videos and this one guy started just listing off these, probably, I think they're Evo players. I mean, I don't know them because I don't really watch Evo, but he was listing off these players. Oh, they know me. Oh, what? Because you fought someone who's been in Evo and won a tournament yourself, again, you think your opinion is more valid. Because I don't think it is. You know? No, it's just an opinion, and it's like arseholes. We've all got one.
Do you know what I mean? It's sorry, that's actually throwing me, that phrase. What I was going to say was, it's like, I don't think that, to get to the point, why they're upset is meriting the negative backlash that we're seeing. And the reason they're upset is Tekken 8 is more accessible than a Tekken 3 was, because someone coming in, yes, they probably don't have the lab. I mean, I lab, you lab, you know, I'm not frustrated by that. I actually enjoy that part of the learning process because...
Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah, same here. I enjoy spending 2 or 3 hours just in training, messing about, you know, figuring out what works, what don't, what's got better frames, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, I mean, you and I both have a notepad, you know, that you will put your style...
We've both got pages, haven't we?
Yeah, and we often compare them to each other as well. It's like, oh, this is a good combo here. But I mean, for me, that's the fun of it. And at the end of the day, say what you want about whatever changes they've made to Tekken 8. I played it since Season 2's come out, and I still enjoy it as much as I did before. So
yeah, I mean, I've had a couple of months off Tekken, but I went and got the Anna DLC because she's the first part of season 2, isn't she?
Yes.
And I got Clive as well, Clive, and
yeah,
and yeah, there are some very apparent differences as soon as you get playing, but you adapt.
I mean, personally speaking, again, this is opinion. I didn't like Clive. As a guest character, I'm very critical about guest characters normally. I didn't think he fitted in, but I'm not going to sit there and refuse to play the game because Clive Rossfield's in it. I just won't play as Clive.
Exactly.
And you mentioned Anna.
It's like the announcements of Ronaldo and Salvatore Ganacci for Fatal Fury.
Yeah,
if you don't like them, don't play them.
Yeah, and it's funny you should mention Anna as well, because I mentioned that when I did the season 2 review on my channel, and there was that one guy who Harada proper snapped back on about saying, "Oh, Anna's outfit doesn't look right. I don't like her design." Well, Tekken has a customization. If you really don't like her design, then just do it yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
Isn't that half the fun?
Exactly. Yeah, getting your character how you want them to look. That's what the customization function is there for.
Yeah.
And then Harada kindly pointed out that in reply to this specific person, he says, "People like you complain when we don't do something, and you complain when we do something." Yeah,
I mean, look, I'm keen not to be a hypocrite here, because I've pointed out things that irritate me in Tekken 8. There's actually a lot of them, but they were the same things that annoy me in Tekken 7.
Yeah.
You know, but
like supers and things like that.
Yeah, exactly. The change in the mechanics and this perceived evolution of how it's changed. But look, games do have to evolve. You can't stay exactly the same, because then you get accused of having no ambition, surely. So
exactly, and it just becomes stale.
Yeah, so I mean, it's like I'm gonna get onto the rage and heat mechanics a bit later on, but if we just go back to what I'm basically terming the online Tekken crybabies here, I mean, going back to the videos that we've seen here. I mean, I've seen videos of someone who screen recorded themselves deleting the game, and I'm just like, what does that actually achieve? All that happens is one less person is playing it.
Yeah.
I mean,
even though they've already paid the money.
Yeah. So I mean,
it's like those people that film themselves smashing up the Harry Potter disc after they've bought it, or smashing up a crate of Bud Light. What a bunch of they've got your money. It's too late.
Yeah. I mean, is that some kind of a protest? I mean, I understand in the social media age that everyone feels they kind of a platform, but I mean, I realise we're using this as a platform. Please don't misunderstand me. But I'm sort of, I just find it really, really, really overreaction. I mean, I'm just, like I said, I'm just scrolling down here and the people always watch this. Tekken 8's dev team should be in jail, says this one. The confusing world of Tekken 8. The problems with Tekken 8 Season 2. Complaining about Season 2. We've got 8 reasons why Tekken players hate Season 2. Well, it's just overwhelmingly... Oh, yeah, this is kind of the culmination. How bad is Season 2? Tekken 8 Season 2 isn't Tekken anymore. Now, I don't know if this is clickbait. I thought it was clickbait.
I can imagine some of them are very clickbaity. And then when you watch the video, their opinion would be quite mild.
Yeah, like I said, it's almost it's vitriolic for the sake of being for attention. That's how it's looking. People are using these season.
If it was on, if these YouTube shows were on 90s television, it would be called Shock TV.
Yeah, we just need Antoine de Caunes, don't we? So we just or Terry Christian.
Oh God!
But it's just literally the whole meltdown over Tekken 8 Season 2 is legit doing my head in. And I know you could say just call out the noise, but no, I'm kind of by proxy calling out what I'm now saying is competitive snobbery, because the overwhelming, and I would say actually from what I've read, as you and me, I mean, we tend to
kind of play, yes, when I have the time, because I do other things other than playing Tekken. I don't go online. I don't like playing PvP, and it's not because I don't like losing. It's because
not you like PvP, I should say, with your friends rather than online.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. I'll play PvP with my friends. I mean, a couple of friends from work who I do play, and I don't play it. And this is my point here. I don't play it because I win. I play it because I enjoy it. And
exactly, and that's always been my attitude, because I enjoy these games because PvP with friends is fun, and not because I win, like yourself, not because I win. And with people who are not so experienced at fighters, I like introducing them to see if they like them.
Yeah, that's what I get out of a game, and this is what we were saying before we came on air here. Is a game, you get out of it what you put in. If you go into it with the mindset of, I enjoy the Tekken games, I'm just going to enjoy it with my friends, or I'm going to enjoy it alone against a computer, like I do, like when I do the offline runs. That's what I get out of it. I really enjoy. I enjoy it. I enjoy learning a character, and I enjoy being diverse. What a lot of people do in the majority of Tekken content, if you look for it on either Twitch or even on YouTube, is people who are good as one character absolutely beasting other people so they can boast that they won, and then they can just bask in the glory that everyone in their live chat goes, "Oh my god, you're so good." I mean, look, if you want to stroke your ego, that's fine. It just makes you a bit of a hollow person, in my opinion.
It's not a good look.
And it's a bad attitude, and unfortunately, it's people like this seem to be the majority, and they are giving the Tekken community a worse outlook, a worse reputation than even the Mortal Kombat community.
Oh God, yeah. And then also, like what I mentioned before we came on air, you have those ones that throw challenges around as if it's real fighting.
Yeah. We know too many of them. We really do. Yeah. But the point is, which I'm trying to make, and this is my opinion. I'm not even speaking for yourself here. If you only play a game to brag about how often you win, you're not a gamer. That's not the love of the game. That's the love of your own ego.
Exactly. Yeah.
And you and I, we started this podcast because we're passionate about these kind of games. That I mean.
Because the fighting games are the main ones that we played since we, 5-6 years old.
Yeah, no, and exactly, and that's the common ground where you and I became friends, for example.
Yeah.
It's just, it's just. I mean, I realise I've probably gone off in a bit of a tangent here, and it's sort of like, and I'm not doing the thing of trying to say what games I've played and therefore my opinion doesn't matter. No, I'm just kind of going out there and saying all this negativity that's gone towards it, and people demanding a repatch and that. I was like, just play the game. You just adapt. When Tekken 8
I mean, you can't even call it an outcry. It's.
Yeah.
I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It's moaning.
Yeah. It is. I mean, look, you and I played a lot of Tekken 7 as well. Tekken 7 and Tekken 8 mechanically are slightly different. So when Tekken 8 came out, did we go, well, it's not 7, I'm not playing it? No, you adapt. I'm not suggesting you're like the Borg, but, you do. A game is different. Look, Fatal Fury City of the Wolves demo came out, I didn't sit there and go, this doesn't play...
The first demo wasn't particularly good.
No, that's irrelevant. that never happened, that one.
Yeah.
No,
but the second one, when they opened it up a little bit more...
Yeah, the gameplay demo.
Yeah, and just to get that bit more of an experience. And, towards more of the full game, it was much better.
So, for example, it's like, again, if we were to do what they were doing, you and I both played Mark of the Wolves quite a lot. I didn't sit there and go, this doesn't play like Mark of the Wolves, I'm not playing it, this game is trash. No, it's years between them. It's almost churlish to try and compare them on a like-for-like basis.
Exactly, yeah, because, I mean, when was Mark of the Wolves? 1999, something like that.
Yeah, it was. No, it's slightly later than that, I think. But we'll look that up later. But yeah, it's around about that era. But I mean, I know in the initial demo, on the video I did on the initial demo on my channel, I ended up doing a playthrough of Mark of the Wolves because I do like Mark of the Wolves, and I was a bit frustrated that I didn't get to experience.
That's one of your top older fighters, isn't it?
Mate, I've always said it. Garo Mark of the Wolves is a masterpiece and is one of the greatest fighters of all time, but that's not kind of my point here. The point here I'm trying to kind of make out is that you have to adapt to do it. I know when I did the second video, I kind of jumped into it feet first, and the mechanics I just didn't get my head around, and that's probably why I got tuned up. And you know what? I brought that on myself. You know, I'm objective enough to look at myself and go, I was a bit of a prat there because I jumped in being a bit cocky, if I'm perfectly honest. So the point I'm trying to make is games do evolve, and you evolve with it. I mean, I'm not the same gamer I was when I was a kid. You know, I'm probably a lot more patient now. I probably don't have the reflexes because I'm older. Or do I? Well, I don't know. My reflex probably got better when I learned to drive, maybe, but I don't know.
But instead of reflexes, it's muscle memory, isn't it?
Yeah. Muscle memory. So like, yes. Okay. So that's a very nice segue for the next point I wanted to make. So muscle memory. If you remember in Tekken 3, King had that chain throw, didn't he?
That's right. Yeah.
He starts off with the vertebreaker and then goes into a power bomb.
The one that ends up in the spin.
And ends up in the ends up in the sort of giant swing. So
that's it.
I used to remember the input for that, and I remember even as late as Tekken 7 that the inputs were the same for that, and I realised I still kind of had the muscle memory, albeit playing on a DualShock versus an Xbox controller is slightly different. I still remember my fingers still went to the right places. Now, yes, I can understand the sort of old school crybabies are upset because to do the same move in Tekken 8, you just press Y at the right time. Yes, it is simplified. Yes, it is something that a new player would be able to pull off that chain throw that we practice and practice and practice like playing a bloody Chopin to get right and to get the timing right. And yes,
it's the same with Eddie's combo, isn't it?
What? Yeah, I mean there was that guy who put a macro for just pressing the B button, and he could end up pulling off like an 8-string or something like that. And at the end of the day, fine. Look, the thing was, it's all about not getting upset about things that are out of your control, and the programming of the button inputs is out of our control. So there is no point wasting your energy being upset by it. Yeah.
No, that's exactly it. That's how it works. Deal with it.
Yeah. So we're talking about the evolution of it. Now, it's something I don't like. I personally do not like the kind of rage sort of thing. And then with Tekken 8, they brought in the heat. And I suppose when we did the Tekken initial podcast, we hadn't really played Tekken 8 in massive depth to really understand how heat works. Whereas now, a year later, we've experienced it a lot more. And I still don't like it. I still don't believe it needs to be there. But it is there, so I may as well use it. I mean,
It's there to be taken advantage of.
Yeah, but okay. Rage arts. Yeah, I absolutely hate them, and I always have done. And I've actually called them the pussy buttons, the same as Fatal Blow in Mortal Kombat 11. I absolutely detest them.
You can be wailing on somebody, and if they've got it macroed to like R2 or something, they can just go bing and stop you what you're doing.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
I'm not going to go on about how much I dislike it. It's I dislike it as well, but that's not going to stop. I'm not going to boycott the game and spit my dummy out. I'm just going to
and delete it off every machine and blah 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 blah. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if you remember when we used to like play Mortal Kombat 11 on Twitch. I mean, even if I had a Fatal Blow available, I just would choose not to use it. And I know our friend Taff used to find that hilarious that he'd pull one off and he'd be giggling to himself because he knew I'd be absolutely seething. But I was like, no, I'm not going to sink down to that level because I would like to believe that I could win without it. So just because it's there doesn't mean you have to use it. True. But I mean, I suppose that puts you at a disadvantage, and so be it. At least I kind of can say, well, I didn't feel the need to rely on it, and that's just the way I am, because I'm not all about winning. I'm not going to get salty because I lost the odd match. It's just,
it's just about the fun of playing, especially when it's in a lobby with your friends.
Yeah, I mean, I do understand the frustration behind lots of the competitive players that the online ranks were reset for, well, not fully reset, but reset enough on for season 2. That
the rank thing,
you know, you have the different ones like Tekken, all the way to Tekken God mode.
I could understand where they're coming from, because they've put hours into that.
Yeah, and I do completely understand that if you've earned something, to have it liberally taken away, I completely understand why that would irk you.
Yeah, by means of an update.
Yeah, and by no means of kind of turning it back on. It's just, I mean, that's still not going to encourage me to go into ranked. I mean, I dabbled with ranked when Tekken 8 first came out, and there was so much cheating in it. It put me off. And at the end of the day, I'm not a PvP player. Yes, I will play with my friends, but no.
Because it was.
It's the teleporting PC players.
Yeah. They would just suddenly appear in front of you.
Yeah, the bandwidth and latency issues on release were really bad. I mean, they may have been...
And also the VAR stuff you do, where you hit someone, and then it just goes no.
Yeah, I mean, I hate VAR in footy as it is, but I mean to incorporate that into Tekken and say, look, we've had 13 major, 13 minor patches and 1 major, and you can still hit a prone fighter with a mid or a high, is crazy.
I mean, you've shown me stuff where you're on the back foot, and you know how you stop people. It's just like a crouching 1.
Yes.
But it goes through them, and they just carry on what they're doing.
Yeah. Like I've always said, I've actually got that. Was it Mishima hit advantage? MHA. I always do a tag on it, and I still don't think I'm wrong, because I can back up everything that I say. Like especially the worst one was that Devil Jin one, where his torso's facing one way, his legs are facing another one, and I was like, what is this? And it's like, look, we're in 2025 now, and that's still a thing.
Oh yeah, and it was like some weird backwards hitbox thing.
Yeah, and my character's like foot is like straight through them, and that doesn't count. Yeah. But their count hits, so it's just, again, they hide little weird priorities in for the characters that they like. I mean, Paul Phoenix for one. You got Leroy, basically got the hit detection of peak Dalsim.
Yeah,
and. Look, the thing was, that's an occupational hazard now. As much as I get upset by it,
that's comes with the territory.
Yeah, that's not going to change the fact that it's in the game. But what I'm not going to do is refuse to play it, and I'm not going to sit there and do another short. I'm not going to do a short of being, oh look, here's me deleting it.
It's nothing to get in a tiz over, is it?
Yeah, it is. It is the behaviour of a bunch of childish cretins who basically are upset that they can't brag the way they did before. There you go. I've said it. I mean, I've kind of tried to be as diplomatic as possible, but no, I'm getting het up now. I'm bored of these crybabies, because they can't boast how much they win now. Because yes, a relatively fresh or newish player can beat them now. It's
and every exploit that they used to use has been ironed out. Most of them. Yeah.
I mean, if that was the case, right? In terms of like this whole OG versus new player, a new player would never get into it, because an OG player they almost feel that because they've played previous Tekkens, they deserve an advantage. I mean, your advantage is your street smarts about it, isn't it?
But for some reason, they think that
they're entitled. That's the problem. They're absolutely bloody entitled.
Yeah, they think that they've paid their dues in some way.
Yeah, it's not wrestling though, is it?
No, and the only way you do pay your dues is you keep practicing and you get used to every game that you want to play.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like No, it's not like a sport that you get more experience, but then you get older, and obviously your body can't.
I mean, it's like I played darts. Right, I've played darts since I was 17. Right, and every first team game I played, I used to get hammered every week by the more experienced blokes in their 40s and 50s.
Yeah.
But then that is a sport where you pay your dues, and when you get to your mid-20s, you use that experience, and you're actually you're a lot better, and you know how to beat them.
Well, let me ask you a question here. Obviously, if you were down a pub and you had a darts match against a 17-year-old and they beat you, would you then film a video of you throwing your darts in the bin, saying that you're never going to play darts again?
Exactly. No, you wouldn't. Would
well,
you?
that's the equivalent. That's tantamount to the same thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it's like it doesn't matter. It just, why can't you enjoy the game of it? I mean, that's what I'd get out of it.
Yeah. Just how can I put it? For the enjoyment of the game, for the love of the game,
the love of the craft, isn't it? Because at the end of the day, I mean, even gaming is a craft.
I mean, what these supposed competitive ranked people don't realise is you're going to lose matches you should win.
Yeah, and you will lose matches that you will win matches you probably should have lost. That's called a clutch.
Yeah.
It does happen.
That's called when you win when you probably should have lost. That's called using your experience.
Okay, I mean, one of the key things that they when people are sitting there having this absolute outcry and making basically inflammatory thumbnails is this Jack combo, this Jack 8 combo that it can spam.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so. You and I have played. Okay, you and I have played enough fighting games. So let me ask you a question here, because I mean you're a superior Street Fighter player to me, for example. If you went into a PvP match against a Ryu, because that's 90% of the population will choose Ryu. I mean, I'm talking, let's say, I don't know, Third Strike, for example. So we tail it back. You're playing Third Strike, and you're fighting a Ryu who sits there and unleashes a torrent of perpetual fireballs. What do you do?
Third Strike, probably. I mean, you can parry them and just build your meter up.
Or
and then when they leave their gate open, as in leave themselves vulnerable, I call it leaving their gate open.
Yeah, when they're framed out.
Yeah, you unleash your little mini starter combo into your super.
My point being is you adapt. Yeah. You adapt to the situation.
Yeah, and then if you've got someone who's jumping, and I don't know if you're Ken or Ryu, I mean, there are people out there that constantly jump, even though they know they shouldn't.
Look, okay, right. That was Alpha 3, and I just couldn't get around you, all right? And, I was Cammy. I like Cammy, but yes, I do jump a lot.
No, just for the record, I wasn't even thinking of that.
Oh, I was thinking about the time you absolutely tuned me up in Alpha 3 online, but yeah.
Oh, no. I wouldn't bring that up.
No, I am. I am. In fact, but that's how non-competitive I am. Look, at the end of the day, I enjoyed playing with you. The fact that I had 7 bells of cack beat out of me is irrelevant.
Because back then we'd hardly played a game, so it was nice to.
Yeah. That was our coming of age, wasn't it? The first time you and me played Alpha 3 together. So yeah, the point I'm trying to make is, if someone is spamming something, you just adapt to it. Because the thing was, though, if someone does spam the same thing over and again, that makes them predictable, doesn't it?
Exactly. Yeah.
And if someone is predictable, doesn't that? I mean, knowing that you know how to counter it, obviously, is another matter. But that does that provides a baseline of what you're going to do. That if they're going to do the same thing over and over again, then that provides you a canvas to counter it. Then
it's like that the certain people who, excuse me, it doesn't happen very often on online matches. But you get those people, when they realise that their bullshit isn't working, they quit.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah. Because all they know is 2 or 3 combos, and then when you've worked them out and they realise that it ain't working, oh yeah, connection lost.
I've done that a few times on YouTube. Not rage quit, but I happen to be filming with someone rage quit at me, and then I think it's quite funny to kind of plaster their username everywhere, saying this person's a rage quitter. The funniest one was, I think it was, I actually managed to record it. It was me, Taff, and Tornflesh Gaming were in a King of the Hill in Mortal Kombat 11. And this blooming League player come in. I thought, oh my god! So you absolutely you beat Taff up, you beat Torn up, and I was laughing at them because you watch it in King of the Hill, don't you? And next thing I realised, he's got to fight me. I thought, oh no. So I thought, you know what? I'm just going to do what I do best. So I went Sindel. Everyone knows Sindel's a zoner, and I just went into Rushdown, and he didn't know what to do. And I always remember that. That was very fun. Again, this is not me flexing that I won. Technically, I didn't win, but he did rage quit. And then I remember all the comments on YouTube saying, oh, how do you know he didn't have bad connectivity? Well, he had bad connectivity when his health was low. Yeah, okay. Yeah. I didn't realise your Wi-Fi signal was predicate on your health bar. But never mind.
Funny that, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, but that is the sort of mould of person that seems to be, just circling back to our original point, who is basically absolutely outraged and up in arms over Tekken 8 Season 2. That is the sort of mentality of, I'm only here to win. I'm only here to win so that I can tell everyone that I've won. And honestly, if that's the sort of content creator you want to watch, then I kind of pity you, because that's not the sort of person I want to watch. I want to watch someone who's passionate and enjoys the game, but they kind of masquerade they have passion for the game to hide the fact that they're just sour because they can't just turn up and win.
Yeah, they don't have the... not necessarily the ability, the mental comprehension to actually get back on the practice board and start again.
I think the word you're looking for there is integrity.
Well, I was trying to be nice, but you know.
No, like I said, all other podcasts, I'm usually pretty mild-mannered, but today, after literally being oversaturated with all these whinging wheezebags who basically are just, making a song and a dance about deleting the game, well, I'm sorry for your loss, but I just think you're completely overreacting for the sake of clicks, for the sake of likes, for the sake of views. And I think it's nowhere near as bad as they're making out.
And in private, you just know that they're back on it.
Yeah, exactly. They're probably going to carry on anyway, but they're just basically making this massive melodrama so that people can go, oh yeah, I hate this too. Oh, I hate this. And they go, oh yeah, let's canvas Harada. And he's not going to change. He's not going to sit there and just rewrite the entire mechanism of the game because a load of people are just suddenly bitter.
And just because of a few South Park World of Warcraft type.
Yeah, look. Yeah. As we said earlier, the whole thing with rage and with heat has been creeping in slowly the whole time in a Tekken. Yeah. And it's been there. I mean, the whole rage thing of where your partner gets beaten up and you come in with dealing with more damage, that was Tag Tournament 2. Tekken 7 obviously went full-blown, here's a super for getting beaten up with the Rage Art and the Rage Drive. Now, the Rage Drive was not as bad as the Rage Art because you still had to put an input in rather than pressing L1. And, of course, now Tekken 8 has that as well as heat.
Because now you can just macro it to a single button, can't you?
Yeah, I mean, I don't.
Well, you could do that. You could do that with the super in Tekken 7 as well, couldn't you?
You could. I firmly believe, and we've said this on this channel before, is any kind of super or a super combo or a super move has to be earned, not just given. Like Street Fighter is probably the kind of the
it reminds me of when back in the Street Fighter 5 days with Akuma, and I was streaming it, and I had I think I had Praise and Vim and a couple of others in there. Andy might have been in there as well. And it used to make you laugh. Well, I just used to let them hit me to build my bar up for Raging Demon.
I could see it coming a mile off, but yeah, I never played Street Fighter 5. I've got an Xbox, remember? So.
Oh yeah, because Xbox people don't play Street Fighter.
Yeah, exactly. But that being said,
well, not Street Fighter 5 anyway.
Come to think of it, though, I said Street Fighter's the thing. Street Fighter 4, actually, if you got beat up, that's how you got your Ultra, wasn't it? Come to think of it.
It filled your bar up as well as doing your moves.
Yeah, you built your super by beating up the other person, but you gained an Ultra by actually getting walloped. But again, you had to put in that double input in them. So, I mean, I've still got the muscle memory for Kami, because that's, because that's, Hadouken, all three kicks.
That's right. Oh, yeah, for...
I can't remember what it's called. Spin Drive Smasher. No, Spin Drive Smasher is the super. I can't remember the...
gyro drives.
Yeah, that's right. And she like breaks their collarbones at the end of the combo, isn't it? That's great. Yeah. That is absolutely fantastic. But
I tell you, if sorry to go off on a Street Fighter thing here, but if you ever get 6, you'll like Kami in that.
I'm gonna like Kami regardless, but that's for another day.
Yeah.
But anyway, I to be honest, I think
back to what we're talking about.
Yeah, exactly. To be honest, I think we've kind of made our points here. I mean, in summation, what I wanted to say, if I can actually put a brief synopsis of kind of what we discussed here, I think that the negative reaction is completely overblown. I think it's borderline it's borderline immature.
Yeah,
and it's not borderline at all. It's incredibly immature.
Yeah. And the YouTube videos are from adults.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, it's basically a grown man in a dressing gown crying into his lap because he can't sit there and 5 combo a new player who deserves to lose. That is it's the OG entitlement, which is shining through here, and all these people saying this isn't Tekken anymore. Just stop it. Just please. I'm doing the Michael Jordan advert. Just please stop it. Get some help.
Just stop it. Get some help.
Exactly. And it's ridiculous. And at the end of the day, for those of you who haven't played Tekken 8 and were maybe thinking about getting Tekken 8, but were put off because of all these almost borderline self-professed professionals and people who seem to think that their opinion matters more because they won a tournament once or something like that, or you should know who I am because I'm this kind of player.
Or they've got 12k on YouTube.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Everyone's opinion is as equal as everyone else's opinion.
Exactly.
And I hate the way
that... Make your own decision and enjoy what you like.
Yeah. I'm sitting here saying, look, there's lots of Tekken 8 I don't particularly like, but I'm still playing it. I'm still enjoying it, and I just did that.
Because, I mean, there's a ton of great points about the game.
There really are. It's not an absolute cesspit. The only cesspit is the people commenting on it because it is overwhelmingly negative for the sake of attention.
They're the ones that making it sound like poo.
Yeah, exactly.
But it ain't. It really, really isn't.
I mean, I sound like maybe I'm a Tekken fanboy and I'm absolutely defending the Castle Tekken here. I'm not saying that. I hear the points. I listen to the points first, but it just got to the point that for me, it is so overblown that I felt the urge to say, you know what, shut up. You know what I mean? That's kind of I've been kind of stewing on this. I mean, I've wasted enough of my time listening to these blowhards on YouTube who are saturating anything to do with Tekken 8 Season 2 with their negative crap, and they're doing it on purpose because they're doing it for the views. I mean, you could argue that's why we're releasing this, but we're trying to provide an alternative commentary on the kind of burgeoning situation.
It's well, how can we put it? A wee bit more objective.
Yeah. And that's kind of what we're going for. I didn't see the point of getting your knickers in a twist, because at the end of the day, if you don't like it that much, fine, go play something else.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's like what we said just before we came on air. It's a bloody game.
Yeah. At the end of the day, it is a game, and what you're playing at that moment will change in time because a new game will come out and you end up playing that, and you know, I mean, as you said, you've been away from Tekken 8. I went away from Tekken 8 for a bit. I played it for a bit, and then when season 2 come out, I thought, you know what, I was actually pleased to see Anna Williams was actually a proper Tekken character for me. Was the next character released? Yeah, damn right. I'm going to be all over that. But
I'll tell you what, she has a lovely sprite.
I was going to say,
if you can call it that.
rocket launcher.
Yes. I'm not sure where that come from, but yeah, it's.
She had a rocket launcher in 7, didn't she? When she had that kind of with that fascinator outfit she got with the feathers. Yeah, she had a rocket launcher in that.
You see, I didn't play much of 7.
I did.
Yeah,
I did.
Funny
but that doesn't make my opinion more valid than yours, which is the crux of what we're saying here. So so basically, those are the points I wanted to make. Is there anything in summation you want to kind of bolt on the end here?
It's just the Clive thing.
Is it the fact that he's called Clive, or the fact he's in Final Fantasy?
Well, it's funny that he's called Clive because it's a rather humorous name. But anyway,
no offense to anyone listening who is called Clive, but it's just
it's just they might as well have called him Rodney or something.
Nigel, or
Derek,
Trevor. Yeah. So, again, anyone with the following names, please do not take offence to this. This is just a mere example that we weren't expecting said name in a fighting game.
But no, it's just a little bit of a wishful thinking from my point of view is now that there's Clive in Tekken 8, it's always been a wee bit of a dream of mine to have a Final Fantasy game in the style of Tekken, Final Fantasy character fighting game in the style of Tekken, and have loads of characters from Final Fantasy 1 to now.
So,
but have it play like Tekken, and they can use, and if they have a super, it's like they use a summon. Or something.
Yeah. So basically, what you're suggesting here is if they had the roster from Final Fantasy Record Keeper as the roster, but the game engine of Tekken 8. Or I suppose actually, to be honest, they're weapon based. So I'd probably say Soul Calibur 6.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like Soul Calibur, and and you can have Edgar from Final Fantasy 6 versus Cloud.
Yeah. No. Yeah. That's really, really cool. So I'd like that. Yeah, you have Balthier from 12 versus Lightning from 13.
Yeah.
That would be cool. I mean,
that would be pretty nifty.
Well, it can be done because, of course, Clive is in Tekken 8 and Noctis, of course, was in Tekken 7.
Oh, of course, Noctis, bloody hell.
So it can be done. It's just there we go. Harada, go have a chat with Square Enix. Sorry, is it Square? Yeah, Square Enix.
Square.
Yeah.
Give Harada a call because I tell you what, CVS3 is going to beat you to it.
Right. And with that, I think we should call it here because we're really going off in a tangent. So, as we finish up...
it's the tangent of all tangents, I think.
We always go off in a tangent. And I was, I know when we do the Fight Buddies podcast, we say, certainly me, don't go off in a rant, and tonight was basically a humongous rant. But hopefully you are all sufficiently entertained. If you've come this far, thank you for choosing to spend your time listening to us. Please do check out the rest of the stuff we've got on this channel and our respective YouTubes. Hayabusa, please just quickly tell us about your YouTube before we go.
Yeah, I've actually with my YouTube, I've recently changed my name. It is no longer Hayabusa's Fight Palace.
No.
It is the really imaginative name of Hayabusa Gaming 1.
When was that? I didn't even notice that.
That's been going a couple of months now.
Oh.
Yeah, I just looked at it one day and I thought, what a stupid name.
Well, if you can't be honest with yourself, you can't be honest with anyone.
I'm only doing shorts at the moment, but I do have a little fun show in the pipeline.
So stay tuned for that. Links for that will be down in the description as always. But guys, we're going to leave it here. So thanks again for listening. Stay safe and we'll see you soon.